Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. It's a great Sunday morning, and we are here in the Pill Method Club, and the name of the room is How to Pay Off Mortgages in 7 Years. But not just mortgages, folks. We're talking about mortgages, student loans, credit cards, all of your debt paid off in an average of 7 to 9 years without changing your budget and without sacrificing lifestyle. And if you're a buy and hold investor, oh my gosh, you'll be able to cash out refi 5 to 7 years sooner at a much lower interest cost, no matter what the interest rate is. We're going to cut your interest cost by about 75%, therefore improving your profitability. Jared, you are in the room, sir. Let's get started.
Awesome. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope all is well on your Sunday morning. Welcome to the Pill Method. So if you're in Clubhouse, we'd love for you to click that greenhouse at the top and follow the club. In the club description, you will understand what you're going to get out of this room. And as you're reading that, if you know people in your network that could benefit from hearing about interest costs, amortization schedules, mortgages, refinances, student loan debts, credit card debt, etc., which is pretty much everybody in your network, I want you to click that plus sign and invite in 4 to 5 people and bring them into this room. Let them experience what Don is going to show you today. Also, if you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, we'd love for you to share this room with your friends and family via those streaming services as well. And this is going to be a very interactive room. So you're going to be able to come on stage, ask your questions, or if you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter, you can go ahead and type in a question and we'll go ahead and answer that as well. And Don will be doing this live on those streaming platforms. So I'm going to pass it to Kenyatta so she can tell you a little bit about how you can watch what Don is doing while being in the Clubhouse room. So Kenyatta, I'll pass it to you.
Thank you, Jared. So if you're inside of Clubhouse, go ahead and click that link above our head. And if you're listening on any of our other streaming sites, then that will be ice10klive.com. ice10klive.com. And once you click that link, then what you want to do is go to where it says Clubhouse Omnicast. And then you can join via LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and of course Clubhouse. And through our girl Tiffany, we're streaming live on Wisdom and Twitch. So go ahead and pick your poison, come in and learn and enjoy. Happy Sunday.
Kenyatta, just so that you know, your audio is just a little bit muffled. So I don't know if there's anything different going on, but just letting you know.
Okay, let me switch things around.
All right. So yeah, ice10klive.com on your laptop or iPad, and you'll be able to see Don's pearly whites as he goes through these examples on the screen. All right, so before we get into the content, I want to go ahead and do quick moderator introductions. There's some amazing people on this stage that do a lot of great things on Clubhouse and off of Clubhouse. So we're going to go through quick introductions, and while we're going with introductions, go ahead and invite people in the room and raise your hand. But actually, before we go through the moderator introductions, I want Don to just kind of break down what is the pill method and what you're going to get out of this room first. So Don, pass it back to you.
All right, Jared, listen, what we're talking about today, folks, is what's been going on in the lending industry for the past 87 years. Since 1934, that's when the amortization of 30 and 15-year mortgages came into being, that we've been paying 75% more interest than we need to. And the knowledge that we needed to understand how loans work wasn't made part of the mainstream financial education for any of us. So when we're talking about paying back loans, and I ask people over the years, have you ever had a class on amortization, how the bank makes its money, and how to defeat it so you can pay a lot less? And the answer keeps coming back, no. So now that time is over. See, folks, here's what you need to know. We're going to be talking about interest cancellation today. You need to know how, when you're looking at your mortgage, your student loan, your credit card, your auto loan, your personal loan, or HELOC, whatever it is, how you can cancel that interest so that you'll never have to pay it. And you will be able to get out, cut it by 75%. and grow your equity 5 to 7 times faster once you learn how to read an amortization schedule and then plug in the right education and the right technology to get it done. That's what we're going to be talking about today, and that's what we talk about every day. But we are also going to add in how it has a broad spectrum in application, so it saves you money across the board, and what saves you money can potentially make you money. So you're in the right place today. All right. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what we do, but you want to know that there's 4 major principles: prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. As we break those down today, you'll be able to see that we have not had the information we need to borrow money at a discount. You don't need a low interest rate. What you need is a very low interest cost, which is vastly different. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Jared, back to you, sir.
All right, all right. So go ahead and click that plus sign, invite people in the room, and feel free to raise your hand, come on stage. We would like an interactive, discussion. So please come on stage. There are no bad questions. It's all new information to a lot of people. So don't feel like you're out of the loop. Ask a question. We'd love for you to come up. All right, so we're going to go through some quick moderator introductions, and then we're going to get into the first example. So Kenyatta, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll go down the lines.
Thank you, Jared. I am Kenyatta. You can find me at kenyatta10k.com, and I am your real estate broker out of the state of Illinois, as well as your financial service provider, assisting you with capital for anything from rehabs to business purpose loans, anything that makes money, I can lend on that. And I'm here with the P.I.L.L method because I was not taught the amortization schedule, and I'm a part of the machine that puts forth these loans. And so I'm able to assist my clients with reduction of interest because I hang out with Don the P.I.L.L method Daniel. And so I'm happy to have you guys here. Go ahead and ping some more people. Share this if you're on Facebook and etc. And enjoy.
Kenyatta, and your audio is crystal clear, as well as your purpose. Thank you so very much.
I love it. Good morning, everyone. I'm Tiffany, the Y CEO. I hail from the great city of Cincinnati and the great state of Ohio. And I have had a wonderful time being here in the P.I.L.L Method room because I'm in the financial industry and I see so much on the other side of the lending process in the corporate level, in the corporate space where interest rates are not necessarily talked about ever. But here in the P.I.L.L Method room, I feel so empowered because I'm able to glean from this information that Don has so graciously curated for all of us, not only in his book, which is absolutely amazing. I bought so many copies for my family, for my friends, but also here he's sharing his ninja tactics, his Iceman tactics with every area of your lending process in every area of your life. So I'm really, really excited to be here and 100% support this room. My mission is simple: to help you be successful in your career or in your business and in your home life and your family life, and how to find that sense of balance and all of that. So I'm part of the YCEO network. I'm the founder of YCEO. We are trademarked, and we are producing content that is absolutely changing lives as well. And I'm so happy to be here as a business partner. I love it here. Don is amazing. He is a truth seeker and a truth teacher. So I'm Tiffany, the YCEO. You can tap into me at yceo10k.com. Have a wonderful, blessed day.
All right, up next we got Rose, aka the Credit Goddess.
Hey everyone, happy Sunday. My name is Rose Laura Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I am all things credit, where money talks, but credit holds a conversation. I help my clients improve their credit so that way they can gain access to funding to grow and scale their business. I'm a credit score improvement strategist, business credit consultant, and an educator at B.RRRR University. You guys can find me at creditgoddess10k.com. Thank you guys for having me and look forward to hearing today's lesson. Thank you.
Awesome. Valley, you're up next.
Good morning. My name is Valerie Sears Jones, and I'm a licensed real estate agent here in this great state of Texas, the DFW market. I love helping buyers fire their landlord to become the lord of their own land. We also work with a lot of sellers and investors so they can liquidate assets and acquire many others. One of the things I love about the room and why I come and I'm a true supporter of the room is because as an agent, I believe if you are an agent, it is your due diligence to be here to learn how you can utilize this tool to help your buyers, for example, before they consider putting down a large payment, how that really is not the best way to go. And or potentially maybe your seller is thinking about refinancing. That is probably not the best way to go. So I'm here and I love it. And thanks for having me. And you can reach me at valley10k.com.
Awesome. Kirk, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kirk Nugent, also known as the Geek Speaker Preacher, and I believe that your live stream is your digital storefront. If you plan on sticking around today, I hope you do, and I hope you bring some other people into the room. Hope you share this if you're watching on socials. Want to welcome our people that are watching on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. If you plan on staying around, and I hope you do, one of the things that I try to do with folks is make sure that you don't become the best kept secret. That's not a compliment. Somebody says to you, you're the best kept secret. That's not a compliment. They only tell you that because they want to keep your prices where they currently are, right? Because they know once you get out there that your prices are going to change, right? You know the old adage, yesterday's price is not today's price. So what I try to do with folks is amplify their message by using live video strategy. And what you're going to see today with what Don is doing, both on Clubhouse and on socials, is amplifying his message. That's what live video can do for you. And that's what my company, my team does for clients and for businesses, brands, thought leaders. Again, Kirk Nugent, Composition LLC. You can find me at kirkrnugent.live/10K.
And y'all, Kurt got my audio on point.
We got it.
Awesome. And my name's Jared Albert, and I'll just be helping moderate the room. I'm in the tech space. I do a lot of rooms on Clubhouse, and I do a lot of stuff off of Clubhouse. So you can check me out, jarrett10k.com. That's JARRETT10k.com. But today is all about Don Daniels. So if you're in the Clubhouse room, make sure you click on Don's profile, give him a follow, click the always on notification, and follow him on all the other platforms he streams on: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so many YouTube. There you go, YouTube. So like, share, subscribe, all of that. But with that being said, if there's no questions on Clubhouse yet, Don, maybe we just start with an example that you've done with one of your customers, and then that'll probably stoke some questions. But for the folks in the audience, just know that this room goes for 2 hours and it never fails. We'll have like 5 hands raised in the last 30 minutes. So if you want to come on stage, go ahead and jump on stage now and ask a question. Don will be happy to go through it live with you on whichever streaming platform you prefer. So Don, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Great. Thank you so much. Listen, folks, everything you ever thought you knew about finances needs to be thrown out. So I'm going to mention some things that most people think that this is the right thing to do because it's what do we call best practices, best business practices. Here's some of the things you don't want to do. It is not automatic that because interest rates drop 2 points, everybody should go out and refinance their mortgage. Here's 2 things refinancing does not do. Number one, it doesn't save you money, and it doesn't help you to pay off your mortgage faster. So if you're trying to refinance to do that, so here's another question I ask. If you believe you're saving money by refinancing, who's losing it? Keep that in mind. All right. And if you have a question about that, come on up to the stage. If you're getting ready to purchase a home, never, ever, 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 ever get a 15-year mortgage. Never. Don't get a 20. Don't get a 25. You want a 30-year mortgage or a 40-year mortgage if you want to ever own your home and pay a lot less interest. 30-year or 40-year will show you how it all works. Okay. So everything, excuse me, everything that you ever been taught about saving money on mortgages actually makes the bank more money. We're going to now, if you have been told something and you believe something to be true about finances, bring that to the stage and we'll show you where the bank actually makes money on that idea. So, whatever ideas you have, bring it up and we'll show you how to save money so you don't have to go through it that way. Here's another thing you may want to know. All right. You heard of the debt snowball or the avalanche methods? Well, they have worked for a number of years and they still work, but they're highly inefficient. Here's what I mean by that. You have a car that you absolutely love. All right. You have a car that you absolutely love, but for some reason, it only gets 5 miles to the gallon. Do you want to drive a car that only gets 5 miles to the gallon? So, folks, if that is the case, this is how we're borrowing money. We're paying way more interest than we need to pay. So, these are the kinds of things that we're going to be talking about today. And let me see if there is one more out there. Oh, by the way, credit cards are not evil. Credit cards are everyday cards. Debit cards are emergency cards. And if you want to know why, please ask the question and we'll be able to tell you. But I think we might have a couple of questions that this conversation has spurred. Come on, talk to us.
All right. So Gary and Aaron, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump to you. So Gary, please let us know what your question is.
All right, thank you, Danielle, and is Janet? Uh,
Correct. Yep. Yep. Good morning.
all right, good morning, and thanks again for allowing me on stage to ask a few questions and perhaps participate. I do agree 100% with the statement that Danielle would have made because with every refinancing, what happens, and in most cases, it don't tell you, it restarts the entire life cycle of that debt. So let's take, for example, you take out a mortgage, it runs for, you had it for about 5, 10 years. If you refinance, that debt cycle start back from day one, from the day that you refinance. The question I want to ask is, does the life cycle matter in the case that Daniel just spoke about? For example, let's suppose that you take out a debt and today 1 year ago, but interest rate dropped by 2-3%. Would you recommend that you have an opportunity gap here, that because the life cycle is short, perhaps in the long term you can save on the interest rate, as against allowing it to run its entire life cycle for the next 29 years at a high interest rate? I just want to get his views on that.
Gary, how are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing awesome, my brother. Great to be here with you guys, man.
How about that? Well, listen, folks. So here's what we're doing, Gary, on with the pill method, because we have a a computing platform that is cloud based. Okay, we developed a computing program that is cloud based that actually helps us to figure out how to save interest on the loan that we have. All right. So here's what people need to know. Um, our program does not look at how long you have to pay off the debt. Our program looks at how much money you owe and the cost of managing that debt. So if we reduce the cost of managing the debt, you can be out of debt in 7 to 9 years in your current situation. It may not be necessary to refi. So here's what we're talking about. If you refi and you get a lower interest rate, do you realize you actually make it harder to pay the loan off faster if you lower that interest rate by 2 points? Did you know that? Gary, if you're talking, you're on mute.
Um, Interesting point. I mean, I didn't look at it from that standpoint. I
So
mean,
let's take a look at how these loans are attacked anyway, because the whole purpose of getting the mortgage, it has to do with people have their own reasons why they do something. So if you would share with us, Gary, if you are in a situation like that and the interest rates drop by 2 points, the window of opportunity here would mean what to you? And then we can talk about it in specific terms. How would you like to do that for us today?
certainly. Well, first of all, for me, I would have to do the financial gain from that perspective. If the interest rate dropped 2%, is it going to save me X amount in a year or over the entire life cycle of that debt? So I would have to make that kind of analysis. But let me say what I I recognize that the approach that American use in, or you guys are using in terms of helping the mortgage owners to exit the debt earlier, it's a very unique approach. You will talk about velocity banking and so forth, and I do embrace and but the way that I approach it, because I come from the Caribbean and we are now integrating into America, we use some of velocity banking, but what we also use is what we call debt mitigation, meaning that we try to identify either one, how we can convert the existing asset into performing asset, meaning that it can cash flow. So one, instead of going into our personal pockets to pay down on that debt, the asset itself is going to cash flow. That's one. And two, we look for other approaches that we can use to help to pay down on the principal balance.
So Gary,
We know that once you can hit the principal balance regularly,
mhm.
Hitting the principal balance is one of the fastest way in which you can bring down the life cycle of the debt itself.
Right, Gary. So here's
So
what we're talking about today. Most people are looking right where you're looking. They're looking at how much we owe. But here's my question to anyone who is looking there, because this is where we've been taught over the years. When you make one particular financial move to hit that debt, my question would be, how much interest did you just save by doing that one thing? That would be my question. And if we can't answer that question, then the whole purpose of paying off a loan early is not just to pay off the debt. Because here's what I know to be true. There's no financial benefit to paying off a loan faster if it's at 0% interest. Would you agree to that?
Daniel, I want to say that I agree with you 101% again, because regardless of how high the interest rate is, if you keep jabbing the principal balance, there is where you got your gold mine. So I agree with what you're saying
Right.
there.
So here's what we're talking about. You don't want, now here's my next question. Do you want to save some interest, or do you want to save the most interest that's mathematically possible? That's my next question. And the reason why I ask that is because you can optimize your interest savings by moving the right amount of money in the right month on the right day of the month, and attacking the right loan so that you can kill the maximum amount of interest per dollar applied. We can actually break this all the way down, Gary, to unit cost. So let's ask the question this way. If it were possible for you to know that at this particular juncture in this month, on this day of the month, by applying a certain amount of money to this particular debt, that you could save, let's say, $4 in interest for every dollar applied. Okay, let's say we can figure that out. Then should you accept a situation where you are saving $3 for every dollar applied? That's a question to you.
That was a question to me,
Yes, sir.
Daniel.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. I was with some noise. Can you just repeat the question?
Okay, so let's just say we could, by knowing exactly what to do, we could save $4 in interest for every dollar applied to principal. Should we ever accept saving $3 for every dollar applied to principal?
Definitely not. Definitely
So
not.
this is why it is so important to know when you're placing money towards a debt that you know exactly how much to apply so that you can maximize the number of dollars in interest canceled for every dollar applied. And that takes a lot of math. Most of us just throw whatever we have available at the debt, not knowing how much interest we just saved per dollar, meaning that we could have saved more interest if we were more strategic and more exact in our calculations and our application. Does that make sense?
Well said. Well said. But I just want to pose some of my experience in dealing with debt mitigation.
Okay.
Everything that you're saying is perfectly correct.
Mhm.
Perfectly correct. But you would agree that the beneficiary cannot leverage this opportunity unless they have access to disposable funds to mitigate the principal balance, or that kind of stuff.
No, I would not agree with that.
You would not agree.
No, sir. So
Good.
here's what.
Well, let me complete it. Let me complete it.
Okay, go ahead.
What would you recommend in the case that you're dealing with a mortgage owner,
Mhm.
but their disposable income is limited?
Okay.
So they are not able to leverage the opportunity of impacting the principal balance, so has to bring down the debt cost, the
Mhm.
debt life cycle,
Mhm.
and walk away with owning that asset much earlier.
Because here's what we're talking about, Gary. We're not talking about focusing on bringing down the principal balance. We don't need more money. We need to pay less interest with the money we have available. So if a person brings me their current budget and they're able to pay on their bills, they're able to pay their bills every single month, right, without borrowing money, without going into their savings, I can show them how to cut significant interest costs off their loans with their current budget. So, understanding interest cancellation, you would be able to say yes to both these questions. First question: is it possible to pay off a credit card faster with just your minimum payment? If you understand interest cancellation, the answer is yes to that, right? Is it possible to pay off your automobile faster with just the minimum payment? If you understand interest cancellation, the answer is yes to both questions. So, how do we use the money that we have, understand how an amortization schedule actually works, and kill interest instead of focusing on bringing down the principal balance? Are you there, Gary?
Yes, I'm here. Beautiful nuggets. Beautiful nuggets.
Okay. So are you actually able to see any of the examples? Are you following us on video?
Well, I'm very new to the platform.
Okay.
I'm only here it's 7 days now, so I'm now getting familiar with everybody. And I'm following you, though. I'm following you. I'm following most person on stage
All right.
by your social media and so forth.
Well, listen, everybody, give Gary a hand clap because listen, we missed you being in here with a party hat. So, Gary, welcome to the platform. But if you ever want to watch what we're doing, you can click on the link above, and then you can follow us on most major video platforms. and watch examples like this, because what you're talking about, Gary, is things that people have been taught for years. All right, let's talk about velocity banking for one, because this is not what we do. Velocity banking does work where you could take a source of funds, borrowing a source of funds, applying it to another loan. All right, you borrow money from one loan and apply it to the other loan, and you're paying down that loan and then you're figuring out, well, I've just saved some interest and I paid down that loan, but the money that you borrowed is at a much lower cost. Even though it could be a higher rate, it is at a much lower cost. Therefore, it's an arbitrage move. So I can borrow money here at a lower cost and place it on a loan that is at a higher cost. And then the difference is my interest savings. So anything. So what we want to do is optimize interest savings, not necessarily focus on just paying off a debt. And let me give you a quick example of that, Gary. I had a guy give me a call not too long ago, and he was paying off his debt because he was a younger guy. He makes a lot of money, and he's got plenty of money in the bank, and he liked looking at it. But somebody told him, says, listen, you got all that money in the bank. Why are you looking at it? He says, so he takes $40,000 out of his bank account, and he's using the debt snowball method. And he takes 40 grand out and it places it on his car and pays it off. All right. The $700 he's no longer paying on the car. Now he's adding that $700 to his mortgage payment every single month. And then he gives me a call and he says, this is what he's doing. And I said, well, that's what the experts are teaching. Why are you calling me? He says, because Don, I saw one of your videos and I'm wondering if I did the wrong thing. So I asked him at that point, when you paid off the car, how much interest did you save? And Gary, no one's ever asked him that. Do you think that's an interesting question by asking, when you paid off your car, how much interest did you save? Would you say that?
I would want to say you're perfectly correct.
Okay.
And I want you to agree. I want to say this quickly.
Mhm.
I agree with what you're saying. And of course, I do believe that one thing that we agree on, it is not just cashing out of the debt early. You want to save on the interest rate. And I want to just also add this. I admire the approach that you guys are using, but I use a different approach and get the same results at the end of the day.
Well, if you get the same results, Gary, here's what we're talking about. You would have to know every time you make a move that you have saved the maximum amount of interest that's mathematically possible.
Correct. And we have that worked out too.
Oh, you're good.
But
excellent.
Yeah.
And do you have a computer program that does all the work for you?
This is all that we do this physically, but it can't be computed if we build that software for that.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you, Gary, because we've already built it. So thank you for coming to the stage. Thank you so very much.
Most welcome, my brother. Most welcome. I always enjoy you guys, man.
Well, thank you. All right, who's next?
All right, up next is Aaron. Please let us know what your question is.
Hi, sorry.
Hi, Aaron.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I popped in right when I think Valley made a comment about not putting down a large down payment, which really, really sparked my curiosity. One thing I do want to say is please do not give me any math pop quiz questions because that will make me nervous.
Okay.
But I just also want to start by sharing my dream.
Yes.
And hoping you can let me see that is possible. So my dream is to buy a single family home.
How much money?
I do not know.
Okay.
I do not know, but I have some story that I'd like to share, and maybe maybe that will help me decide, because I there's some other things I want to share. Then maybe that question, I would have to think more about that question.
Mm-hmm.
So the dream, real quick, is to buy a multifamily, to buy a single family, and a vacation home.
Okay.
I currently own a condo in Boston that I bought in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And I was definitely a victim of predatory lending, but
Okay.
I had a plan. I knew I couldn't afford it. I did my best to put down 20% because I wanted to avoid PMI. That's what I always had heard.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. And so far, I'm set to pay off the mortgage in the next probably 5 years.
Okay.
I do not plan to sell.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to keep it. But I do plan to move further south. So maybe that sort of answers your question somewhat, at least gives you an idea of the area. I'm originally from Port-au-Prince, Haiti. I've never lived anywhere else in the US, so I don't really know. All I know is that I need to get out of this cold.
I understand. Aaron, listen, we love to hear your whole story, but can you kind of zero in on the question, please?
So the question is, can it be done? Can I buy another property? How do I do it? Because right now I'm thinking I got to pay off what I have now before I get something else. I have to get at least 15 years because I want to pay it off before I reach retirement. I'm 45. I'm like feeling pressure to rush and to save up a lot of money so I can damn near buy something like outright.
Okay, here's what you want to do. All right. Number one. Okay, number one, never, ever, ever. Okay. Never, ever, ever. So there's no equivocation here. Never pay cash for a house. Always borrow the money. That's number one. How do you feel about that?
That makes me nervous.
I understand.
Because I do follow Dave Ramsey.
I understand.
That's not what he likes.
All right. Never pay cash.
I'm willing to learn.
Okay.
I'm down to learn.
Yeah. Never pay cash for a house. That's number one. Okay. So, here's the point on this, and you tell me if it makes sense. If you take your cash out, and if you have enough cash to pay for a house, that means you're probably not taking it out of a bank. You're probably taking it out of some sort of investment, correct?
That would be correct.
Okay. So in your investment could be making somewhere between 7 and 10% a year on average.
Maybe we're getting in those math questions, but maybe.
Okay, it's not a math question. This is just numbers. Okay, I'm not asking you to do the math. Okay, 7 to 10%. Okay, if you could borrow the money does it make sense to take money out of a 10% investment to purchase something? You could actually borrow the money at 1% or less.
Oh, well, okay.
Okay. So that's not real math there, but
yeah.
Okay. Do you see where we're going here?
Yes.
So if we do this thing right, we can borrow the money, and then by paying the loan back in a certain fashion, we can cut our interest cost severely. And then if we did the math, then we do all the math. Our computers do the math. See, I'm not a math genius. In fact, I'm not even a math student. I don't know. How low can you get on the math scale? That's probably me. We have computers that do all of that. Okay. So here's what we're talking about. If we know that we could pay a lot less interest, then it could be figured out what the interest rate would have to be to accomplish the same goal. What the interest rate would have to be to accomplish the same goal. So now, and if your interest rate is 1% or less, by figuring out how much interest you actually did pay, wow, that could be tremendous. So here's a quick synopsis. Let's just say that you're supposed to pay $100,000 in interest on a loan, but you end up paying $22,000 instead. Would that be good?
I would say yes.
Okay. And then the And then instead of the 70, and you're saving $78,000 that most people are going to pay to acquire the same asset. What if you could invest that $78,000 that other people are paying? Would that be a good idea?
That sounds good to me too.
All right. So what I'm trying to do is give you some stuff that gets you that doesn't make you so nervous about getting into this. What makes us nervous is the unknown. And so we're looking at, if I borrow the money, then there's something bad about it, but because I've been told it was bad, but I don't know what is actually bad about borrowing the money. What is actually bad about borrowing the money? And let us talk about that, because you're going to help a lot of people today. What's bad about borrowing the money?
Owing it.
Owing it. Okay, owing it is bad. But why is owing it bad? So can you drill down for me a little bit more? Why is owing it bad?
Because now I'm beholden to someone else.
Right.
I don't have full control over my own decisions.
All right. Okay. So, and you and that would be true. Is there any other reasons for that?
I don't like owing people money.
There you go. There you go. All right. So let me ask you this. Do you necessarily like shopping?
I do not like shopping.
You don't like shopping, but when you
No.
do have to buy something, how do you go about it? Do you try to save as much money as you can?
I do.
Okay, so you don't like paying retail.
I do not.
Okay, so if you could buy something wholesale instead of retail, that would be better for you, correct?
Absolutely.
So here's what's going on with borrowing money. We borrow it at retail. Therefore, it takes us forever and a day to pay it off. But what if we could borrow it at wholesale? Knowing that going in, getting our money at a severe discount, and it has very little to do with the interest rate. It has everything to do with controlling interest cost.
Nice.
So that's kind of where we're going with this. So if I could take my money, keep it in my investment, making the 7 to 10%. Lord have mercy. Here we go. We're getting ready. All right. Making that 10%. And then I can borrow somebody else's money at an effective interest rate of around 1%, get it at a severe discount, pay it off in about 7 years. Oh my goodness, here we go. Using somebody else's money, paying off the debt in about 7 years, and my money was used and is still making money in my investment. I'm getting excited just thinking about it, Aaron. How about you?
Me too. But my question is,
Yes.
Regular people have access to this wholesale?
Oh, yes. Regular people have access to it if they understand how to read an amortization schedule.
Okay.
Can you see our examples on screen? Are you watching us?
No, I'm on the Clubhouse in my car.
Oh, okay.
See anything.
All right. Well, let me give you just an example that we don't have to do much math on, okay? But see, we're going to put that actually on the screen for everybody else to see, since you brought it to the stage. And let's see, share screen. And there we go. Boom. All right. And so people can see, we're going to put a $350,000 mortgage on the screen here, Miss Aaron. And I want to thank you for bringing this to the stage. And we're going to put it at 3.5%. Okay. And the reason why people don't like borrowing money, because at 3.5%, the bank wants $215,797 interest on a $350,000 loan. Well, that is not 3.5%. It's actually 61%. So we're signing up for a 61% loan and we don't even realize it. So here's what I want to share you. I'm going to share one little tip with you today, Ms. Aaron, okay? You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So the very first payment on this thing, all right, the payment on this loan is $1,500. $571.66. But when you make that very first payment, only $550.83 goes to principal, and $1,020 goes to interest. Oh, I'm fainting just looking at it. All right. So here's what's happening on the next payment. $552.43 goes to principal, and $1,019.23 goes to interest. So here's what I need you to kind of visualize. Let's just say we make our first payment in January, Miss Erin, and only $550.83 goes to principal. But by looking at the amortization schedule, we can see that February's principal payment is $552.43. Follow me so far?
Yes.
Is there any rule that says I have to wait to February to give the bank that $552.43?
Not at all.
If I had it, could I give it to them in January?
Yes, sir.
And if I did, do you know I'm paid down to the principal balance on line 2 on my amortization schedule in January? I just got rid of one whole payment for $552.
Mm-hmm.
My next mortgage payment is actually on line 3 of my schedule for February now. And by doing that, I just saved $1,019.23 in interest I never have to pay. Good stuff?
Yes.
So if you know what to do with any monies that you have left over after all the bills are paid, okay? So anything, here's another thing that people are doing that generally doesn't work. All right. They get a spreadsheet and they say, I'm going to put $500 on my mortgage or whatever every single month extra. And that only lasts until Aunt Susie gets sick and everybody has to fly cross country to say goodbye. So we're not putting $500 on the mortgage that month because we had to buy plane tickets at the last minute. You see what I'm talking about?
I do, because I do that.
Aha! That's what we're talking about. Okay. So if we were to take a look at a system that works more like, let's say, a Waze app for your money, then whatever you give the program, it says whether it's $500 this month or $5 this month or 5 cents the next month, the program would then calculate what your interest savings could be with the money that you have. And anytime you have a spreadsheet that uses static numbers, anytime you can't follow the spreadsheet, you are already behind. But the spreadsheet does nothing to get you caught up once you're behind. Let's say you miss 1 month here, and then you miss 1 month there. And then a year from now, you miss 2 months out of the year. And then 3 years from now, you miss 5 months out of the year, putting that $500 down. You're getting further and further behind your goal. Here's what an application does that is designed to take whatever you give it. So let's say the program says, well, we can be out of debt here based on how much money you're making now. But if you get thrown a curveball, whenever you're in your car and you're following your GPS and you hit a detour, your GPS unit does what? It says it starts to recalculate and give you a new route that gets you as close as it possibly can to your original arrival time at your destination, correct?
Yes.
And that's what a dynamic application can do that a spreadsheet can't do. And that's why we're nervous, because we don't know what the outcome is going to be. But what if we could know? Then all the nervousness would go away. What you think?
Yes, I like it. I want to know where this dynamic application is.
Funny you should ask. So if you were to go to ice10k.com, that's and it stands for Interest Cancellation Expert, ice10k.com. Okay. And there's a little button there that says get a savings and earnings report. Click on that, follow the directions, put in your financial data. We will prepare for you a savings and earnings report, and you can know what most people would love to know: the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free, or if you're a buy and hold investor, when you could cash out refi 5 to 7 years earlier, gaining equity 5 times faster with your current budget, without sacrificing monies for investment and without sacrificing lifestyle. We can prepare all of that for you. And then if you say, well, Don, I like that, let's sign up. You're signing up with us. It is a lifetime program that can be used over and over and over again.
Are you saying that this is how these wealthy real estate folks, this is how they've done it? This is
I wish I could say that. All right. But they're using something different. And how I know they're using something different? Because of all the books on Amazon, and there are 33 million titles. Okay. The P.I.L.L method is one of those books, of one of those titles. The P.I.L.L method, a better way to eliminate debt. There's only one title on all of Amazon that says, here's how an amortization schedule works and how to defeat it. Ma'am, they're using something else. They're not using this. We own the copyright to this information. And P.I.L.L method is a registered trademark. And that's why you're not seeing this information anywhere else, because we have a team, a legal team that keeps an eye out for stuff like that. So if any of our stuff shows up on anybody else's website, we have successfully shut them down. So, Miss Erin, what do you say?
sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So yeah, and you will know everything. And so we have come up with an idea of getting this information out, because I don't have a strong math background either. We had to come up with a way to explain it so that I could understand it, so that we can explain it to people who don't have a strong math background and they get it. How about that?
Even better.
Well, thank you. Listen, are you complete with your questions today?
I am. Thank you very much.
Well, listen, we're looking forward to getting your information and seeing how we can help.
Yes.
But remember the P.I.L.L method. And so if you forget ice10k.com, listen, that's okay. The P.I.L.L method, if you Google P.I.L.L method, you'll be able to find us, because of our SEO, search engine optimization. Birth control is on page 2. So you can't miss us. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right. Who's next?
All right. Excuse me. We have Nicola up next. But before we do, just want to remind everybody to, if you're in Clubhouse, make sure you click the greenhouse at the top, follow the club. Also, make sure you tap on Don's profile, give him a follow as well. Click that bell notification next to the follow button and turn it to always on, so that when Don hops on the stage, you'll be alerted. Also, would love for you to click on Kenyatta, YCEO, Credit Goddess, Valley, and Kirk's profiles, read up about them, and give them a follow as well, and check them out on other platforms, the website, the 10K cards, etc. And speaking of 10K cards, Don, if somebody purchases your book, what will they experience beyond just the knowledge from that book?
Oh my gosh. Listen, what you're going to get from this book is an insight into financial information that you've never seen or heard of before. But not just that, but once you get the book, if you like my digital business card. Once you click on it, just go ahead and click on it and look around and see how versatile this thing is. I'm telling you, it's awesome. Once you get the book, we're going to make sure that we also give you an extra value of getting your own digital business card as well that we pay for. We were already set up something with the 10K card company so that each person who buys our book gets a business card that's worth $100. Oh my gosh, you can't get better than that. Miss Kenyatta, once they purchase the book, how would they get their 10K card?
So you did yourself a favor and your family a favor as well and purchase the book. So what you want to do is screenshot the receipt and go to ice10k.com, even ice10klive.com, where you find your Facebook and LinkedIn links. Then you go to the link that says I'm ready. You upload that screenshot of the receipt. You build out your card to your specifications, outlining your social media outlets and your email, your number, etc. Then you let us know where you want to receive it, and we will deliver it. And 10K likes to say that it'll be delivered in an hour, and you'll have a 10K card valued at $100.
Listen, I don't want to keep talking about the pill method all day. Does anybody have a digital business card and they have a story as to how it has helped them in their business? Because I got a ton of them. Miss Y CEO, are you there? Because listen, she's busy. She's always busy doing something. So
I
who
mean,
has a 10K story?
Yeah, I can definitely talk about it. So I'm in Miami right now, and I've been going around networking just with a bunch of different individuals. And this is my 10K card. I'll just throw it up here.
Go ahead.
And one thing that's really set me apart in these conversations is I actually can pull out the QR code on my phone, and basically I saved it as my screensaver. So I basically just pull out my phone, people hover over it, they pull up the 10K card, they follow me on all social media. But honestly, there's nobody else that has, this functionality when it comes to having a digital card, being able to take them to different links based off the conversation. So in person, it's actually been a huge asset. And then on Clubhouse, whenever I want to drive people to my Twitter or my LinkedIn or to Wisdom, I can just throw this on the top of the stage. You can see my picture, and you can quickly click it and go to anywhere that I want to direct you. So had a lot more conversion, but it's also a really cool first impression at these in-person events. So that's my 10K story.
That's perfect. Perfect. I was testing him. I was in the other room.
All right, Ms. Valley, did you have something?
I do. I love my card. So yeah, I don't care where I'm at. If I have an iPhone and an Android phone, but so my Apple phone, I could airdrop it. So whenever I'm out and about, I just airdrop it. I'm in the nail shop, I airdrop it. I'm out and about eating, and it actually picked up conversations. Some people reject it, and that's great. Some people look at it and they kind of look around, and I kind of watch to see if I catch people's attention, and it actually picked up conversation. I have a magazine that I have. It's called Good to Be Home. So I use my QR code, like Jared was saying. I mean, it's just a phenomenal tool. I still keep a hard copy of a card, like if I'm out and about and entering a contest, if I'm out and about and you only can do a card. But other than that, I love my 10K card. It's just phenomenal. So it's just the way to go.
Excellent.
If you don't have a website, if you don't have all of your contacts in one place, get a 10K card. If you got 5 different careers, 5 different side hustles, if you're a moderator, an actor, and you have another business, guess what? You can have a card for each and every one of those businesses because people trust people that they feel are focused. So you need 3 different area cards for each business and opportunity that you have so that you can be very strategic with how you share your personal branding. That is one of the key benefits of the 10K card. Back to you.
Thank you so very much. All right, Jared. And listen, Kirk, we want to make sure that we are touching base with everybody on that we're streaming to and on Clubhouse. So, who's next?
All right, Nicola, thank you so much for your patience. Really appreciate it. Please let us know what your question is.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jared, for inviting me to speak. Good morning to all the moderators, all those in the room. Happy Sunday. This is a much needed conversation, and I'm truly grateful just to be here. I try to pop in and out very often because I follow this club. And I have two questions for you. So the first one is going to be, my daughter completed college in May. She actually completed early. She did 2 years and eight months, but she has some student loans over her head. So of course, all these lenders started contacting her already about payment, which we thought it would have been, because you completed early, it wouldn't have been so soon. So I just want to know, I heard you spoke about the interest rate. These interest rates are extremely high. So I'm sure that you are knowledgeable about that. And I just need some assistance on how we can proceed. Thank you.
You are so welcome with that, Miss Nicola. And are you able to see our example on screen?
Absolutely. I'm also watching on YouTube as well.
Excellent. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the amortization schedule back on the screen here. Okay. And I'm going to show you, we've used this example before. And I have a student, it was a few years ago, who had only $9,500 in student loans, not 95,000, $9,500. Interest rate was 6%. Okay. And received an income-based payment of only $50 a month. And he wanted to buy a car, and so he could, start his career. He wanted to get a new car, get back and forth to work, but he had this student loan. He wanted to, what's the best way to take care of this? All right. So first of all, we need to know how much interest is involved in this thing, because it's not it's not the loan itself is the problem. It is the cost of managing the loan is the problem. So, Miss Nicola, how long do you think it should take to pay off a $9,500 loan at $50 a month?
I really don't know, but I think that would take quite a bit.
Oh, give me a guess. There's no wrong answer here.
All right, let's say 5 years.
Let's say 5 years. Okay, let's calculate that thing. And let's take a look. Ooh, it's 601 months. That's 50 years. See that? 50 years. Almost 51 years to pay that off, because here is what the interest rate there. This is at 6% interest. The bank wants $20,550 interest on a $9,500 loan when it's set up that way. So, Ms. Nicole, it's not how much money you borrow that matters. It's how to manage the interest cost on the loan that you have. So once we learn how to read an amortization schedule and how to defeat it, we can make great strides. The average P.I.L.L method client pays off all of their student loans in 5 to 7 years. Everything, without sacrificing lifestyle. What do you say? What do you think?
That's absolutely amazing, sir.
Let me show you something that's going on with this loan, okay? Because we need to pay $20,550 if we do it the bank's way. Here is the effective interest rate, 216.316%. That is outrageous. Wouldn't you say?
That's robbery.
Come on. So here's what we're talking about. All right. And see, and Kurt and I, we are closely associated with historically Black colleges. All right. Which are private schools. All right. Private schools are tend to be more expensive, and there are a lot of student loans floating around in those private schools. Oh my gosh. But if we can take care of that, get a student loan, and then pay it off in 5 to 7 years without struggling, we're going to show you a couple of tips, Miss Nicola, right here. So do you see On this, out of this $50 that this student was paying, do you see how much money was going to principal and how much was going to interest on the very first payment?
Yes, sir. I'm seeing that.
How much is that?
All right. To the principal, I'm seeing is at $2.50.
How much to
And
interest?
And the interest is $47.50.
Oh my goodness. What do you think about that?
That's absolutely amazing. My daughter will love that.
Okay. How fair is that the bank gets $47.50 and you only put $2.50 towards your mortgage, towards your loan?
Very fair.
No, try it again. The $2.50.
Oh no, it's not fair.
$2.50 pays down the loan.
Mm-hmm.
The bank gets $47.50 in interest.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
That's not fair.
That's not fair.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Listen, what you just experienced is what a lot of people think is happening when they're paying on a loan. They think the majority of the payment is actually paying down the loan and the small part goes to the interest. It's actually the other way around. So in the first year, if we add up all the principal payments that actually pay down the loan, are you seeing the third column, cumulative principal? Are you seeing that?
Yes, sir, I am.
At the end of 1 year, line 12, how much money actually goes to pay down the loan?
$2.50.
Oh, and I'm talking about column 3.
Yes, sir.
That in 1 year, 12 months, line 12, how much money goes to principal?
In 1 year or in 1 year or 12 years? It's $30.84. What you're highlighting?
Yes, that's
okay.
This is 12 months here.
Okay.
It's one.
Yes, sir.
That's month 1 through 12. $30.84. And in cumulative interest, which is the next column over, how much interest will the bank receive in that 1 year?
$569.16.
Oh my goodness. How fair is that?
That's not fair, sir.
That's not fair. This is why student loans can be scary if we don't know how to read this schedule. Now, let me tell you something about this schedule. It is designed to make a lot of money for the banking system. It is designed that way. But there is a fatal flaw in this system. I'm going to show you what that flaw is. Would you like to know?
Thank you so much, sir. Would appreciate that.
All right, here's the flaw. So this is the reason why this is not taught at any level of financial education, because it makes so much money, but there is an inherent weakness in the system. We can't ever know how it works, because if we did know, people would not pay all that interest. And listen, folks, we're going to stop for just a minute and let Miss Kenyatta invite other people who may be new to the room how to see this example, Miss Nicola. I hate to keep you in suspense, but we've got to invite some more people in.
Hey, new people, go ahead and go to ice10klive.com. That is ice10klive.com. And then go ahead and click how you want to view this example. Do you want to go through Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever your poison, go ahead and click on that and you'll see this next example.
Oh my gosh, this is so good. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pretend that the first payment is made in January. So the first payment is made in January. Payment number 1, $250 goes to principal, $47.50 goes to interest. And remember, we had a $9,500 loan. So the principal balance on line 1 is paid down to $9,497.50. That's January's payment. But Ms. Nicola, I've given you this schedule. So I want to ask you a question while we're still in January. May I?
Yes, sir.
All right. When February's payment rolls around, how much do we pay towards principal in February or in next month? How much goes to principal?
For the principal balance, or you mean the 251?
Yeah, the $251. So that goes to principal in February, doesn't it not?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me ask you something. Do we actually have to wait till February to give the bank that additional $2.51?
No, I would say no.
If we have it, we could give it to them in January, couldn't we?
Absolutely.
You know they have to accept it.
Yes.
Do you know they put that right on principal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do you know we're paid down to line 2 in January, where we owe
Mm-hmm.
$9,494.99, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So our next loan payment is actually on line 3 of this schedule. That's
Mm-hmm.
February's new payment. Do you realize we just got rid of line 2 off our schedule for just $2.51?
Oh wow.
That's a clip right there. All right, listen. So payment number 1 is now touching payment number 3, and all we did was give the bank an extra $2.51 in January. Pretty good stuff.
Absolutely.
Then what happened to the $47.49 in interest on line 2? What happened to that?
They wouldn't get that either.
They wouldn't get that either. I love that. It's canceled, folks. It was scheduled to be paid, but now we don't have to pay it. This is the power of interest cancellation. And I'm going to stop right here, folks, because right now there are we've actually received some pushback that there's no such thing as interest cancellation. And I'm trying to tell you there absolutely is, because this $47.49 was definitely scheduled to be paid. And because we gave the bank the $2.51 early, these folks will definitely not pay the $47.49. That is canceled from the schedule. Does that make sense to you, Ms. Nicole?
Yes, sir, it does.
All right. Well, then what would happen? What would happen if we paid it in January, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we found a little extra change, and we gave the bank an extra $251, an extra $253, and an extra $254. The next 3 principal payments. What would happen then to the interest on line 2, 3, and 4? What would happen to those?
All of those will be canceled too.
And our next mortgage payment for February will be on what line of the schedule?
Line 5.
You are our best student we've had here in a long time. All right. Now I'm getting ready to show you something, but you have to promise not to say any bad words when I show it to you.
I promise.
Okay. All right. The same thing works for you, like your student loans, the mortgages, credit cards. The same basics work the same way. Okay. So we already know that if we add up all the principal payments for a year in column 3, that's cumulative principal, we're going to pay this loan down by $30.84. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Here's my next question. I know I got to give the bank that money because I borrowed the money, but do I have to pay them $30.84 in 12 monthly installments?
No, I don't think so.
If I had it, could I give it to them on line 1?
Absolutely.
If I did, oh, you're getting excited now. I could hear it in your voice. If I gave it to them on line 1, would they be paid down to line 12 in just 1 month?
Oh, yes.
What would happen to all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12?
All those will be canceled.
You got to be kidding me. What are you trying?
$9,469.16.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Isn't that good stuff?
Absolutely.
Miss
sir.
Nicola, did you intend to come to this room this morning?
Oh, no, I didn't. I think the Lord sent me here.
Are you glad you came?
Oh, yes, sir.
Did you click the greenhouse at the top?
Long ago. Yeah, I did that weeks ago. The first time I heard you and Jared, oh, yes. I did immediately.
All right. And are you following us on your favorite social media? And did you click the notifications every time we're on?
Yes, sir, I did.
Wow. Do you realize that this information is going to be out there for people who need to see this, in perpetuity? So you're going to be helping people from now on just with your question. Nicola, that is awesome. Thank you very much for coming. I hope this helps.
Yes, it does. And I want to know how could I schedule an appointment with your team? How do I, to get my daughter, to get this information out?
I am so glad you asked. All right, here's how it's done. You go to that, you see we have the 10K card. It's ICE10K.com. ICE stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. ICE, the number 10, the letter K.com. All right. And then when you put that into your browser, you'll pull up my digital business card. There is a button there that says get a savings and earnings report. Click the button.
And Don,
Yes.
this is a good time to let everybody know another way that they can get this knowledge.
Uh-oh.
Perhaps this is a nice way to, go ahead and tell them about that book.
Okay. Oh, Miss Kenyatta, thank you so much. See, that's why we have such grateful moderators up here, because they keep me on track, Miss Nicola. All right.
That is so great. Good team. Good team.
Yes. So now if you click on that button, all right, you click on that button, you get a savings and earnings report. Put in your financial information, but you got to follow all the directions on how to get to the form. Follow the directions, you'll get to the form, put in your information. Somebody from my staff will then go over that information, all right, and we'll prepare a report and then call you and we'll set up a consultation, and then we'll go over all the information and we'll get deeper into your situation. How's that sound?
That sounds great, sir. But my second question is it possible to get a financial report for my mortgage as well, or I have to do two separate? How does that work?
Okay, are you responsible for paying back the loan, the student loan?
The student loan, and my daughter's in charge of that, but I'll be helping her along the line.
Okay.
As well.
All right, because if you were primary, you could put it all on the same application. If you're not primary, it has to be two. But yes, put in you can put in your information
yes, sir.
into the program for that, and then we could also help your daughter as well. But go ahead and put your information in as well, and
yes, sir.
not just the mortgage. All of your debt is paid off in an average of 7 to 9 years without sacrificing lifestyle. I mean, you still go on vacation, you can still get your hair done, get your nails done, you can still have a good time, live a great lifestyle, and get out of debt. What?
Wow,
because
thank you so much.
Listen, we're not the company that says don't go anywhere, don't do anything, eat beans and rice 7 days a week, and then drive a 30-year-old car. We're not that guy. Okay, we're the other guy that says live an enhanced lifestyle, get out of debt, and grow your wealth all at the same time. We're those guys. All right. And also, you can, on that same card, you can get our book, which is the only title on Amazon out of 33 million titles that gives you a great introduction to interest cancellation. Remember those two words, interest cancellation. It is the only program on the planet that does optimized, what did I say? Optimized interest cancellation using powerful computers that do all of the math. So, Ms. Nicola, thank you very much for your question.
Thank you so much for having me, sir. And thank you for this valuable information. All right, we keep in touch. Have an amazing day.
Oh, same to you. Same to you. All right, folks, who's next? I'm so excited right about now.
Hey, Don, we have a question. We do have a question on Facebook from Barry. So Barry was hoping to try and call in. We don't have that set up quite yet. I tried to instruct him to head over to Clubhouse. He has posted his question here in the chat here on Facebook. So his question is, I made a $5,000 payment, principal payment towards my mortgage back in the summer. Yes. My monthly schedule never changed. My end of loan date is still the same.
Well, see, it all depends on here's what did change, Barry. Not all computer systems are set up to change the end date. Okay. They're not always set up to change what your maturity date. They don't all automatically update. Here's what did change though. Okay. Once you put that $5,000 down, then that $5,000 should have brought your principal payment down by exactly $5,000. That's where you want to look. Okay. Now, here's the other thing. that most people are unaware of. By putting the $5,000 down, all right, couple of things. If you did not see your balance change, then what happened to your $5,000? They put it in your escrow account if you have an escrow account. That's where the money went. And they'll give it back to you at the end of the year because you overpaid your escrow. They'll give it back to you without interest. Okay? Now, why is that? Because each mortgage company or each bank has a way of telling us how they want to receive extra principal payments. If you don't follow their rules, then they'll put that money in escrow. And a lot of you have experienced that. In fact, if I ask some people, we've got about what? We got about 54 people in this room. We have 21 people that are live streaming. And if I said, how many people have experienced that? I'm sure we get a few hands and a few comments on our live stream that this has happened to them. All right. So if that happened to you, just give them a call and say, listen, that $5,000 that never got applied to principal, I would like to have that $5,000 applied to principal, please. It might take a couple of phone calls, but it'll get done. Okay. It's not lost. All right. But if they did apply it, let's say they did apply it, you will see that your balance came down by $5,000. But here's what you will not receive. They will not send you, and they did not send you, a receipt that said, here's how much interest you saved by putting your $5,000 down. And you know what's worse? We don't even know to ask. We don't even know to ask. You see, with the P.I.L.L method, we answer questions about finance people don't even know to ask yet. We're answering those questions that people don't even know to ask. That's why this stuff is so powerful. So here's what we're trying to tell you, Barry, but thank you for bringing that to the stage. But looking at your end date is not the thing to do. What you want to know is how much interest I can save, and then calculate your own end date. And we do all of that with our opportunity cost calculator, which is our cloud-based computing platform that does all of that work for you. And we keep all of that on the screen. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put that on the screen here in just a few seconds. So do we have any other questions or comments while I'm getting that set up?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Barry responded saying, thank you so much for taking his question. And of course, I just want to share yet again to all those that are watching online. We can't thank you enough for coming and hanging out with us. We recognize that you do not have to be here. You choose to be here. And since you are here, we'd love for you to engage with us in the comments. We'd love for you to ask your questions, just like Barry did. You'll see that that Mr. Daniel will respond and will give you a robust answer. He's actually setting up another visual aid for you to be able to further drive home that point. So Barry, we thank you for the question. And of course, it is our pleasure to respond. There is another question there.
Yes.
Pamela Bell says, how does the idea of credit cards being daily and debit cards being for emergency go? She probably heard that earlier, and like others who may not be as brave, want to know, what do you mean? It's never the way I've heard it said. How can credit cards be for daily use and debit cards be for emergency? Can you flesh that out a little bit?
Oh, sure. See, here's what's going on, folks. What we're doing, I just need to know, when you go to work, are you working just for today? Are you working just to eat today? Are you working to secure a future for yourself and your family? If you're working just for today, then it doesn't matter how you spend your money. It really doesn't. But if you're working to secure a future for yourself and your family, to grow your wealth, then you want to think of it this way. If I use a debit card, I'm using my money. And when I use my money, all right, and I buy something with that money, this is what's called opportunity cost. I can't also invest the same dollars. I've already spent the dollars. So if you're a farmer, okay, think of your money as seed. If you're a farmer and you eat the seed, do you have anything to plant to grow a crop? Come on now. So that's what we're talking about. So if I spend my money, I can't also invest my money. Now, we've been told that borrowing money is evil. I also know that success leaves footprints. And I want to know from everybody on the stage and everybody on that's streaming right now, the largest buildings downtown are which buildings? The largest buildings downtown are which buildings? And people are going to come back and say, it's the banks. It's the banks. Now, let me tell you about the banks. The banks are the biggest borrowers in town. They're the largest borrowers anywhere. When you read the information the information packet that they're giving you, when you get a bank account, they're actually borrowing your money. And when they borrow our money, what are they doing with our money? They're lending it out. Not only are they lending out our money, but they're lending out money they don't even have. It's called fractional reserve lending. So this is why they want you to handle your escrow account. Listen, an escrow account to pay your taxes and insurance on your mortgage, it is not a favor to you. It's a favor to them. You're setting up a savings account where you receive no interest so that they can pay for you your taxes and insurance. Folks, you can set up your own savings account to do that. Why do you need the bank to do that? Okay, so they do that to make sure that that money is always going to be there, because when they turn in their year-end report, they can then lend out $7 to $9 for every dollar they have on deposit. For every dollar that they have, they can lend out an extra $7 or $9 they don't have. It's called fractional reserve lending, and it's legal. If you and I do that, it's called counterfeiting.
Mercy.
Come on, folks. So that's what's going on when you set up. So the bank is the biggest borrower in town. And so what do they do with our money? They borrow it. Then they make big money with it. I mean, they make a tremendous amount of money investing that money. And then they pay us pennies on the dollar for the use of it. So
yeah. Can I jump in, David?
Go right ahead, brother. Go right ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to. There's a couple of little things that we want to just respond to real quick here. Of course, people are loving the analogy with the seed and the crop. But T-Boy just has a quick question. If I purchase the book, will I have access to the calculator? I am not certain which calculator they're referring to. So T-Boy, if you could give us a little more information in the chat there. If you're talking about the one that Don has been putting on screen, that's on a website that's publicly available. But if you're talking about the calculator that the P.I.L.L method has created, the opportunity cost calculator, or better yet, the system, the cloud-based system that we've been talking about here to several others, that does not come with the book, but you can definitely sign up at ice10k.com and get his savings and earnings report, and then you can see whether or not that's something you want to do. The last question that I see here from Barry, he's just asking, how do I get on Clubhouse? And I know that is a slightly different question. You would have to install the app, Barry. I don't know if you've ever been on Clubhouse before. I don't know how in depth you're looking for that question to be, but Clubhouse is its own audio only social network. And you have followers on there just like you would any of the other platforms. I know you're watching us on Facebook, so it's very similar. It's just that it's audio only. So definitely would love for you to jump on Clubhouse. And maybe, Don, we need to think about possibly integrating some kind of a call in for those who are online. In this instance, it would be nice to be able to bring Barry on just for a second.
Wow.
To hear him audibly. So maybe
Okay.
that's something we can further look into for 2022.
Wow, listen, and Kurt, you are the man that can get that done for us. He figures out all this stuff, and if it couldn't be done, Kurt, I know you wouldn't have mentioned it.
Oh, it's definitely possible.
So listen, thank you
possible.
Thank you for that idea. Listen, let's work on this doing a call-in. But right now, folks, you are seeing a representation of the opportunity cost calculator on your screen. And if you're just new to coming into any of the audio portions of our streaming, then you want to go to ice10k.com. I'm sorry, ice10klive.com, and then click on the streaming app that you love. So we're on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and
Twitter,
LinkedIn,
Facebook, YouTube. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Yep. So listen, folks, whatever you like, join in. And this is an example. But to finish up, folks, banking, they borrow our money and then give us pennies on the dollar for the use of it. That's basically it. And so what we want to do is then think about how we can turn the tables. How can we borrow their money at a much lower interest cost, get a big old benefit, and pay them pennies on the dollar for the use of their money? How about that? So when you use a debit card, you're spending your money, and you can't also invest that same money. So what if you could borrow the bank's money, pay them pennies on the dollar for the use of their money, and then invest your money? So now money is doing double duty for you, not just the bank. So folks, that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Kurt, if there isn't any more questions, Don,
yes,
this would be a perfect time to talk about fungibility.
Oh, listen to you. All right. So we're going to put that on. We're going to put that on the screen too, and let's put that on here.
All right. And for those that are new to the room, if you have a laptop or an iPad near you, you can go to ice10klive.com, and then you can choose either the Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or LinkedIn option to watch this live on the screen. And feel free to click that plus sign, invite a couple people in the room so they can see this example. And if you're on other streaming platforms, please click the share option and invite some people in.
Listen, folks, the word fungible means interchangeable. So your money is interchangeable, but what we want to figure out, if your money is interchangeable, that $1 on your debit card and $1 on your credit card, they'll buy $1's worth of stuff, okay? But you have to figure out the cost of using that. And most people say, let's stay away from the credit card because there's an interest cost to using that money. But there's also an interest cost to using your debit card. What does that mean, Don? I thought if I'm using my money, how can they charge me interest? That's not what I mean at all. What I'm talking about is the interest cost is interest you could have made, but you didn't make because you spent the money. Any money that you could have made in interest that you didn't make should be considered a loss. So folks, what we want to do is show you how to use your money invested the right way to build up a generational wealth for your family. And we can't do that if we are spending our cash or eating the seed. So let us work with you to show you how you can use your money, build up wealth, use the bank's money at a much lower interest cost, And so how you can use their money, pay off all of your debt in an average of 5 to 7 years, and the interest that you save, let's show you how to invest that too. That's why we call it a savings and earnings report. Folks, I don't know how else to tell you that there's not another program on the planet that does this. Every home will have one. And I want to talk to you about technology right now. And we're talking about technology that is groundbreaking. We're talking about technology that's disruptive. Every time new disruptive technology comes along, okay, it is slow to be adopted by the masses. There are some who jump on it right away. They're called early adopters. Okay. But there's some that hang on that don't change right away. All right. When technology changes, see, does anybody have any Kodak stock anymore? Anybody got Kodak stock? Anybody remember what's Kodak? Anybody know? Remember that company? What's Kodak?
Yeah, of course. Kodak
what
was
is it?
A photography company.
Photography company. Have you heard about Kodak lately?
No.
No. Why don't we hear about Kodak?
Because we got iPhones.
Because say what now?
Because we got iPhones.
Because we got iPhones. Listen, Kodak went by the wayside because they hung on too long to film when they should have been transferring things over to digital. Okay. So when there's disruptive technology out there, people hang on too long to that old stuff. Do you know that if I look hard enough, I will find somebody with a rotary phone? And I actually seen I've seen some videos on YouTube where they gave some kids a rotary phone, with a dial. You have to put in, you dial the number, and they didn't know what to do with that thing. They didn't know how to use a dial phone because it's gone, because nobody has them anymore. When's the last time you saw a phone booth on any corner anywhere? I grew up, there were phone booths. If I asked some of you, do you have a landline phone in your home? Most of you have gotten rid of your landlines. Why? Because of the cell phone. This is disruptive technology. And listen, folks, I've gone through the mill. I've had 45 records. I've had 33 long playing records. I didn't come along at 78. So anybody, so all of you guys here are way younger. You don't remember 78 records, okay? 78 RPM records. But you remember, some of us remember 45s and remember 33s, long playing albums. We remember those, okay? But then came along what? 8-track tapes.
Oh yeah, 8-track. Okay.
8-track. Remember 8-track?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Remember quadraphonic sound?
You're taking it way back now.
Quadraphonic sound on those 8-tracks. Oh my gosh. So listen, and then what from 8-tracks to what? Cassettes?
Yeah.
Cassette tapes. Okay. There's no way. So I even have cassettes, but I don't have a way to play them anymore. And then it went from cassettes to what? CDs. And then went from CDs to having a whole ton of CDs that I had to carry around in my car, to putting those same 300, 400, 1,000 CDs on a digital device called an iPod. And it's all digital now. Things are different. And it went so fast that people who were producing music got upset because it was digital. They didn't have a way to get their royalties. So everything had to catch up with the technology. And what I'm trying to tell you folks is everyone will have an opportunity cost calculator one day. The question is, are you going to get yours now, or are you going to wait and do it later after everybody else has it and you've paid the majority of your interest? It's all up to you. It's up to you. Who's next?
Well, we do have a couple of questions here. I don't see anybody on the stage in Clubhouse, so I wanted
Okay.
to grab a couple of. Well, so of course people are responding to some of the kind of that trip down memory lane that you've given us. Kodak, that's like Barry says, that's like VHS and Betamax.
Bye bye.
But hey, they're gone. And then he says, of course, he said, I still got my 45s and LPs. So that's something cool there. Now
All right.
Barry came back with another question, kind of
Sure.
a follow up. Here we go. Let me put it on screen here. This is the follow.
Good.
He's made the switch to YouTube. He's over on YouTube now. And thanks to Jared, he's given me a link for Clubhouse. So if you guys see, if you're in Facebook, YouTube, you do want to head over to Clubhouse. That link is in the chat right now, and you'll see it there under the Pill Method channel. We've shared that link. So Barry, if you do want to jump over to Clubhouse, you could do that. But here's the question. He says, if I don't have the bank put my taxes and insurance on the monthly payment, wouldn't that mean I'll probably have he says CC payment,
Credit
for
card.
those credit card payment for those fees?
Not necessarily. But what if you did?
Okay.
Not necessarily, but what if you did? Okay. What if once a year you paid your taxes and insurance with a credit card instead? There is going to be a fee to use those credit cards for that purpose. So
Right.
then what if you were diligent and that money that would have gone into escrow, what if you use that money to help pay down your principal so that you would save thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in interest with that same money? Okay. So let's go back here.
All right.
And are you seeing the amortization schedule now?
I'm going to put it back up.
Yes, sir.
Here it is.
Okay, so we got a $350,000 mortgage right now. Okay, and 3.5%. Take that out. Okay, put in 360, and take that payment out. Boom, and then we recalculate. All right, so let's say we're able to save up. Let's say in taxes and insurance, let's say it comes to $450 a month. All right, on top of your mortgage payment. I'm just doing a little guessing here. So we're going to bring up our calculator, put that on the screen. All right, and it's loading. All right, there it is. So $450 a month, $450. Okay, times 12 equals $5,400. $5,400. That's the amount of money that would go in. But what if we could put that money on principal? All right. Now it wouldn't go exactly like this, but it gives you an example. All right. So I'm going to say, let's just stop here at $5,000. So if I put that $5,000 on this mortgage, I can knock off about 9 payments, and it would save me about $9,000 in interest. Okay. If I put my taxes and insurance on my credit card, okay, it won't cost me $9,000 interest to pay off the credit card in a year. So it's going to cost me by using our system. Generally, it takes only about $200 or $300 to pay off the credit card. Okay. So here's what we're doing. We're taking the money and applying it to the mortgage that the bank is sitting in a bank account, making us no interest so that we can pay the taxes and insurance that way. Or we can use that money throughout the year, putting it on the debt, saving thousands of dollars in interest, knocking off months using the same amount of money, putting our taxes and insurance on a credit card, and it only costs us $200 or $300 to manage. So you tell me, which is a better way to go? Would you pay $200 or $300 so that you could save $9,000 on your mortgage? That's the question. All right. I'm getting so excited about these questions. Oh, I love it. Does anybody have any more?
Right now, well, Pamela, we did tackle Pamela Bell's question, and she just came back saying, "Gotcha, thank you." She's just appreciating. T. Boyd also came back said, "I see what you're saying," and he also was saying thank you as well. But yeah, that is all we have from the online audience at this point.
Well, I'm going to reset. This program here, and this is John and Rebecca Jones, and I'm going to show you guys with the little time that we have left how valuable it is to have a opportunity cost calculator doing all of this work for you. We're going to bring up and make the numbers just a little bit bigger. Boom, there we go. All right, so now this is John and Rebecca Jones, and what you're looking at, folks, is called the action plan. And in the action plan is where, if we have some new people in the room, they definitely want to see this, Miss Kenyatta. Oh my gosh, I was getting ready to show them some stuff, and people said, where can I see it? Where can I see it?
Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, respectfully, wherever you are. Go ahead and go to ice10klive.com. And what you want to do is click how you want to view this example. We're streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and through TIFF, we're actually on Wisdom. So go ahead and pick your poison, watch this example, and grow from it.
Thank you very much. So here's what we're looking at. We're looking at the action plan. And in the action plan is where you track your income and your expenditures. It is important to track all of your money. We want to put all your pennies to work. All your pennies should be making babies. Okay. My wife and I were out walking the other day. And when we were out walking, we actually found 20 cents while we were out walking. Guess what? We picked that up. Listen, I pick up pennies in the parking lot, folks. And when you're going to see how valuable your pennies are, we can break this thing all the way down to knowing how much interest you can save per penny. That's what this thing does. It is awesome. All right. So now we've got John and Rebecca Jones, and we can see 3 months at a time, and we're tracking their income and their outgo. We're starting in October, goes into November, and we can then see December. All right. And so here's what we've got going on. So we've got that, and then we're going into the accounts here to see what we are looking at. John and Rebecca Jones have $500 in checking. They got $5,000 in savings. They have $25,000 auto loan. They have a $2,000 on their Visa and a $200,000 mortgage at 6%. I already know the program has already done the calculations even before they put a single penny on the debt. They're going to save, they have a potential of saving $179,000. Look in the upper right-hand corner, $179,448.42 in interest that they will never pay. We focus there. Everybody else is focusing on when can I pay off the debt, when the paying off the debt isn't the problem. I went to my chiropractor, and my chiropractor said, Don, your headache is not caused by an aspirin deficiency. Okay. Okay. There's a root problem to your headache, Don, and I'm going to help you to find the problem. Okay. Your long-term debt doesn't have as much to do with the money you borrowed as the cost of managing the money you borrow. So if we can bring down the cost by $179,448, then you can pay off all of this debt in 7.7 years by using your current budget, knowing exactly what to pay and when. All right. So let's go back and take a look at how this program actually works. So John here is getting paid his $950 on October 1. So he just tells the program, I got paid $950 on October 1. When he does that, look what happens. So he gets paid $950 and it disappears from his screen. Now that $950 was direct deposited from his job into his bank account. And now he has $950 more at the bank. But the program has the same $950 in the virtual bank account here. So the program knows that he has $1,450 in the bank. All right. So if we go back to the action plan, it says, now what's next? Oh, he has to pay his mortgage now. He now has enough money in his account to pay the mortgage, $1,199.10. So he will tell the program, I just paid my mortgage, and then that money is subtracted from his bank account. Well, we must also subtract the same amount from the virtual bank account in the program so that the program knows exactly how much money you have in the bank. So if we do that, that would disappear. Then we pay the utilities. Same thing. Just tell the program that you pay the utilities. Then, oh, Rebecca gets a paycheck. And then that goes into the bank. And then that disappears from the screen. Oh, but look here. Do you see these little red arrows? This is like your turn signals. This is like using your Waze app. This is like getting instructions of when to turn and get you ready for your turn. This is the program talking to you now, and we read it from left to right. So for John and Rebecca Jones, on the 5th of the month, we're going to take money from the checking account and put it in the savings account, $100.90, because that's money they don't need for any other reason. What's in here? All of their bills and their fun money. I mean, the money that they've dedicated just for the family to have fun every single month that's in the budget. Oh my goodness. So, and then once we do that, then any monies that's left over, we can use that later. So we're telling the program, let's put that in savings. Then we pay the phone bill. Rebecca gets another paycheck because she gets paid weekly. And then now we're putting $588 from the checking account into the savings account. Here's what you're not seeing this month. You're not seeing any extra money being applied to the principal on the mortgage. No red arrow saying put money on the Visa. No red arrow saying put extra money on the auto loan. This month, we're only putting money in savings, and we're not applying any extra money to the loans. We're making minimum payments on all the loans. Did I just say a bad word? For some people, that's kind of shocking. But there's a reason for that. So when is the program going to put money on the debt? Well, we'll just change one of these windows. All right. And we're going to take this payoff date window and we'll change it. And so we know now that on June 12th, 2029, they're going to be out of debt on everything.
Yeah.
We got the debt. We got the date here, folks. The month, day, and year. Would you like to know that? How much planning could you do if you knew this? Come on. So let's go down here. We're going to go to next debt transfer. It's based on how you are spending your money now. Okay. The program is predicting that by December 7th, John and Rebecca Jones will have extra money in their savings account, $3,119.80 in their savings account. Take that money out of the savings account and then apply it to the debt in December. Actually, we can actually scroll down and look at it. Oh, we go down to December and we're going to get new instructions from the program. And it says, oh, here on December 7th, we're going to take money from the savings account and pay the Visa off in one fell swoop. Bam. Okay. Yeah, we made minimum payments for 2 months, but then we killed the rest of it just like this. And there's a reason for that, folks. There's a reason for that. We're going to get to why that is. It's called optimization. We're optimizing how much interest we could save at any one time when we do this. Okay. So let's watch this. Let's watch this. So now, that's called looking at the macro money. We're looking at the macro money here. But what about the micro money? Micro money means how do we pick up a little extra money along the way? Well, the utility bill, this is the average utility bill. This is not the actual utility bill. We just put in the average in here because nobody knows what their utility bill is going to be from month to month unless they're on a managed program. But most of us are not. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So this month, the utility bill was only $150. All right. So we put that in, and now we find, oh, look here, we're $50 under budget. What do we do with that? So for most people, they would just roll it over or find another place to spend it. But not this program. The program says, oh, I'll tell you what to do with it. So we're going to execute that. And then the program says, you know that $100 that you were going to put in savings? Now we're going to put $150 in savings. We're going to increase the amount that goes to the debt, and we're going to increase the amount of interest savings. See, if you knew how much extra interest you could save with just $50 along the way, what happens when you don't spend all of your grocery budget? $5.69. Let's say I got a call from California the other day, and it said, Don, we were, no, it was $4.69. I'm sorry, $4.69 under budget on the food budget. And so the program says, put that in savings. When we put that in savings, then the program recalculated our overall interest savings. We're going to save an additional $35 in interest, because we're going to apply that $4.69 to principal on one of our loans. If you knew that your $4.69 would save you $35 in interest, would that be valuable to you? Or you could just buy a burger and fries with it. Maybe. Okay, that's what we're talking about, folks. I get excited when we start talking about these numbers. So let's take a look at, let's just go down and take a look at what happens here when we tell the program we're all the way down here, putting money away, and all of November. We get into December, and the program says, you know what would happen if we paid off the Visa to zero? And then the program does this, that no other program on the planet does. Here's how much interest you just saved for paying off the Visa this way. This is the killer. So here's what I need to tell you. By paying this $2,000 off the bank's way, you would also have to give them an additional $1,736.34. This just got canceled because we paid them off. The bank was hoping to get this money, but now they can't get it because you dropped money out of your savings account, not stealing money from your budget, not stealing money from your family's fund, not stealing money from your daughter's ballet lessons or your son's travel football or baseball or whatever. It was extra money left over after all those things get paid, and it went into a savings account. And the program says, take that money, drop it here, save this interest. Okay, so now what happens next? We're going to show you, oh, we're back down in December. We're going to put $1,166.98 on the mortgage here. But what happened? The mortgage was actually paid on the first of the month. Program says, wait 6 days and then apply this that goes to principal, $1,166.98. And why to the penny, Don? Why stop at 98 cents? We could easily round that up. It's because of optimization and not violating the law of diminished return. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in the last couple of minutes here. So here's what we're talking about, folks. We're now going to save $5,675.26 by applying this amount of money. So if we do the math here, we're going to save $5,675.26 for applying $1,066.98 to principal. So we're going to divide it by this number. So we're going to divide it by $1,166.98. Boom. And it comes to $4.863. $4.86. For every dollar applied here, we're saving $4.86 in interest you do not have to pay. This is why it's important to break it down to the unit cost. How much interest am I saving per dollar? That's why this is important. Okay. So if I can save $4.86, then if I knew that, I would not be tempted because I have over $5,000 in the bank. I would not be tempted to do this. Well, since I like rounded numbers, why don't I just put $1,500 down instead? Program recalculates and says you're not saving $5,000 in interest anymore. Now you're saving $7,259.77. I'm not going to wait till the 7th of the month. I'm going to pay it on the 1st. Boom. Okay, pay it on the 1st. So why? So I'm paying more and I'm paying it sooner. So let's see what happens. I'm going to put in back into the calculator. I'm saving now $7,259.77, and I'm going to divide that by $1,500 instead. Listen, this is our cloud-based computing platform that says if you do this, you're going to save the most amount of money. So, well, I should be able to save more with $1,500 down and paying it sooner. Watch this. Oh, $4.83, not $4.86, $4.83 per dollar. The amount of interest that I could save just went down. Watch what I do here. Do you see this number up here? The $179,476.75. You need to pay attention to that because this one move alone, okay, over 7 years compounds into a greater loss. So watch this. I'm going to tell the program I'm going to do this anyway. Watch your 179,476.75. Watch the last 5 numbers, the 476.75. When I tell the program I'm going to pay more and I want to pay it sooner, the 476.75 goes to $444.16. I'm actually saving less interest overall by not paying attention to the program and violating the law of diminished return. There's a point in which more is too much, and our program has figured that out. So when people are asking me, Don, can we just do this? We do this without doing all of the math involved? You don't know when you're saving less per dollar. You don't know when that breaking point is. Who's going to sit down and do thousands upon thousands of calculations just to accomplish this? We're just going to throw the money at the principal, pay off early, and not even realize we've paid an extra $50,000 to $70,000 in interest that we didn't need to pay because we weren't tracking it. So I'm going to reset this thing, and I'm going to go through 3 months quickly and show you what actually happens in 3 months' time. So we're going to reset this back to the beginning, and I can do 1 month at a time, and I'm going to show you what happens when you follow a program like this. We're starting out at 7.7 years. And then remember, we told the program that we executed this income, boom. All right. And we paid $150 instead of $200. Okay. So we paid $150. All right. And did that. Now we're back at the same spot. So now I'm going to show you how we're going to select the entire month of October and execute the entire month by clicking on that button. All right. And now we're executing that. And now we see, because of the actions of the program, we've already actually saved $112.17 in interest, and we're already down to 7.6 years. Now we're going to do the entire month of November the same way. Okay, pay our bills. Any extra money goes into savings, and we execute that. Now we're down to $221.57. All right, and we're at 7.5. But now here comes the big deal here. We are now going to just click on these few where we're actually putting money on the debt. We're actually putting money on the debt. We're going to click execute, tell the program this is what we want to do. We've got to change what's today's date, folks? The 5th? All right, so we've got
Yes,
to
sir. Today's
change.
the 5th.
So we have to change this to the 5th at least because the program won't go past that. Boop, boop, boop. All right, and change
And
this to the
Don, and
5th.
Don, it is 10:36. I just wanted to make sure we keep track of our time here as well.
Thank you so very much. This is going to be our last example for the day. All right, and there we are. And when we tell the program that, watch this. We've just saved a total, just for in 2 or 3 months, $7,854.55 in actual interest saved, down to 7.5 years to pay off. And not only that, but look, we still have $4,699.73 in savings. Folks, this thing you cannot beat. This is the best thing since sliced bread. And I just want you to know, sooner or later, everyone will have one. Thank you so very much for attending our session today. Jared, let's let the folks go.
All right, perfect. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Make sure you click the greenhouse at the top, follow the club. Also, make sure you follow Don and click that always on notification on Clubhouse. And then make sure you click ice10klive.com right above us. Follow him on Facebook, Twitter, Google, YouTube, and Twitter or LinkedIn. Follow him on all those platforms. And we're going to close out the room with some quick moderator outros. But before we do, Don, please let everybody know how they can get in touch with you to find out the month, day, and year they'll be debt free.
Listen, folks, I'm going to put that back on the screen here. Month, day, and year. Boom. All right. Listen, if you want to know the month, day, and year you can be debt free, just contact us on our 10K card, ice10k.com. Click on that button that says get a savings and earnings report. Let us do that work for you. Let us figure out the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you can save right here. Boom. And then show you how you can turn your interest saved into generational wealth for your family. Also, make sure you get my book, the P.I.L.L method of using the same card. Get the P.I.L.L method book that will give you a great introduction into understanding interest cancellation and what it means to your life. There's only one company that does it. It's this one. All right. And we're going to tell you it's optimized interest cancellation, knowing exactly how much to move and when to move it, and on what day to move it on and which loan to attack. So we're going to tell you all of that too. So folks, thank you so very much for being with us today. I'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow, and then we'll tell you how our holiday schedule is going to work. And we'll tell you that on tomorrow. All right, Jared, back to you, sir.
All right. So Kenyatta, YCEO, and Kirk, we'd love for you to just give a quick outro and let people know how they can get in touch with you. Kenyatta, I'll let you go first.
Thank you, Jared. It's been a pleasure to share this space and time with you guys. As always, we appreciate your presence and pray that we've earned the privilege of your time. If you would like any of my services regarding finding property in Illinois and opportunities to have a big ROI return, then hit me up. King10k.com. If you have a rehab or a business purpose loan that you're needing, and the bank said no, and you need access to capital, same thing, King10k.com. And if by some chance you are wanting to get started with this method, the P.I.L.L method, the best way to cancel interest, which is just as savvy as knowing how to curb taxes, then King10k.com.
Amen.
Excellent.
I second that. I second that emotion and motion, Queen Kenyatta. I'm Tiffany, the Y CEO. I am so happy to be here. I really enjoy the information that's being shared. I am also going to be doing a secondary live stream for those who are on a different coast who are getting up later in the day, because I want to make sure you learn how to leverage all of this information. So I'll be doing a restream on different platforms, and I'm running some tests on some new platforms as well. And thank goodness for Kurt. I'm so happy he's part of the team, because I plan to tap into his masterclass also to ensure that I continue to stay up on point on all my technology. And you guys, I got to send a shout out to Jared, the man with the plan. He is the techno genius here on Clubhouse, and he's amazing. He really is. And I promise you guys, follow him into his rooms. You will learn so very much about life. And I got to send out a shout out to my baby boy. He reached over 1 million subscribers. He superseded his goal. I'm just a proud mother. And now, as a proud mother, I'm learning from him. So I absolutely really enjoy everything that we share here. And guys, we really do live and walk the walk that we talk. You know, I'm 50. I don't have time to pretend to be somebody I'm not. But what I will say to you is everybody over here is very genuine and very passionate, because it's not only our purpose, it's our mission. And that's when you're at a whole different level. So tap into me at yceo10k.com, and you'll see all my links in one place on my 10K card.
Excellent.
So we've come to the close here. I'm excited about the week that is ahead of us. Excited also about hearing a little more tomorrow. Hope that you're going to be able to come back and hang out with us. But if you come back, hoping that you are going to tag somebody, that you're going to bring a friend. I know I have some family members that I've been chatting with. I may have to show them an example or two to bring them across the line. So I'm going to be using that replay, the replay both on Clubhouse, and there's also replays on Facebook and YouTube and all the places. So definitely use this content as a resource. If you've been sold by it, we have so many examples, right, Don? There's so many examples. I myself am an example of somebody whose life has been affected by this method. And so we have these examples. So make sure you are sharing the content with people who you know are not utilizing this method and could definitely benefit from it. Again, my name is Kirk Nugent, also known as the Geek Speaker Preacher, and we're glad to partner with the P.I.L.L method, glad to partner with everybody that's moderating this room. And if you need anything live video related, whether it be training for StreamYard, for Ecamm, for Restream, for anything live video related, please hit us up, kirkrnugent.live/10K. Thank you, guys.
And guys, you never know who you're going to see on camera. You'll probably see me tomorrow. And you never know, a lot of us are going to be popping onto that YouTube channel. So make sure you tap in.
That's
Back
right.
to you,
That's
Jared.
right.
Oh, we lost Jared.
All right,
Back to you, Don.
All right, let's go ahead and hit the outro music. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.